Good Thursday afternoon. I'm Storm Track meteorologist Ashley Ganson. Light drizzle and cloudy skies across Alabama. 66 in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa 64 with almost 70 in Anniston. A little peak of sunshine in East Alabama. Otherwise, rainfall is now falling west of 65. I'll break down today's rain chances as well as the big cool down ahead in your full forecast. CBS 42 News at noon starts now.
Good afternoon, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. This is the CBS 42 News at noon.
Strong storms caused downed trees and power lines across central Alabama. It's still a wet and cloudy day as you take a live look from the BJCC in downtown Birmingham. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the CBS 42 News at noon. I'm Jamie Langley. And those storms left 62,000 Alabama Power customers in the dark, and they caused their fair share of traffic issues as well. CBS 42 News reporter Matt Fernandez joins us live from Birmingham, where a huge tree fell into a church. Matt, what are you seeing as far as cleanup efforts? What's that like right now?
Yeah, Jimmy, they're working out. We're outside the First Presbyterian Church on Richard Arrington Jr. Boulevard. Check out this uprooted tree. Then it goes all the way to the top. Crews are currently working to remove it. Now let's run some video earlier and show you what it looked like a little bit earlier as the tree fell. The church was founded back in 1872. Now there's been a lot of damage throughout central Alabama. A tree fell on top of a home not far from the Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport. There's also been down power lines in Hoover and Vestavia. A tree landed on a car.
I'm in shock still about falling on the car. That's my mother. That was my mother's car, and I hate that real bad.
And crews tell me it's going to be at least another couple hours before they remove this tree from the church. I spoke with the pastor. He says that no one was in the church at the time. Reporting live in Birmingham, Matt Fernandez, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
In good news, a lot of that wind has really subsided. Now we're dealing with a cloudy sky. This is that same look in Birmingham, live from the BJCC. Temperatures currently at 66 degrees, but those winds out of the south still at around 11 miles per hour. So I would call it a breezy day for sure. Maybe not near as blustery as it was early this morning. We had this what's called a wake low. That's something that comes in behind this rain shield, and it creates a really steep gradient, and that really rushes that wind down to Earth's surface. That's what we felt this morning. Now here's another band of rain stretching from Hamilton to Berry, moving into Tuscaloosa County, sliding through Utah as we speak, and we'll have some more pulses of rain. These waves of showers will persist through the remainder of the afternoon and into the evening as this low pressure system tracks off to the north and to the east, and then that cold air will be moving in. Yes, I said cold. We're looking at temperatures right now, mid to upper 60s, some low 70s almost in East Alabama, but guess what? Tonight we'll be dropping into the 40s, and guess what? It's warmer right now than it will be at any point tomorrow. More on that in minutes in your Storm Track 7-day forecast. Jamie.
Thanks, Ashley. New today, GOP lawmakers are set to support a plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. That deal will provide an additional $8 billion to help people with pre-existing conditions pay for our health insurance under the new plan.
It ends today. It ends today.
Lawmakers have started debating on the House floor the Republican plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. House leaders called for a vote after winning over some last-minute holdouts.
We'll have the vote. This will pass.
The bill would reduce the subsidies for low-income Americans and eliminate taxes on the wealthy that pay for them. It would also try to encourage young people to buy insurance by offering an age-based tax credit for people making less than $75,000 a year. States can also choose to allow insurers to charge higher rates for people with pre-existing conditions, but only if the states set up high-risk pools to help with the costs.
And now they say, oh no, it's still in there, but the insurance company can charge you whatever they want. You have cancer? Oh, that'll be $100,000 a year for your policy.
What's the rush? Wait a week and get a CBO score. Why is that such a radical idea?
Republicans say something has to be done because they claim Obamacare is broken.
That's why we have to make sure this passes to save those people from Obamacare that continues to collapse, where they don't even have health care.
Senate GOP Whip John Cornyn says the House bill will have to go through considerable changes in order to get the 51 votes needed to pass the upper chamber.
Republicans are using rules known as budget reconciliation to avoid a Democratic filibuster in the Senate. This would mean they need only 51 votes to pass the bill in the Senate. We have some breaking news from Tuscaloosa to pass along to you this afternoon. Hargrove Road in the Forest Lake subdivision is closed following a deadly crash. That crash happened in front of Grace Presbyterian Church. Part of the road will be closed while first responders work that scene. We have a crew of ours on the scene as well, so stay with CBS 42 for the latest updates. Happening today, Yo Mama's Restaurant in downtown Birmingham will hold a fundraiser for the Fairfield fire chief who was killed in a crash on Sunday. Kevin Sutton was killed when an 18-wheeler lost control on Interstate 59 in Birmingham and hit his car. His wife and daughter were also hurt in that crash. Well, Yo Mama's will be donating 24% of all proceeds to the family.
We're going to run tables up and down the street. We will have a fire. The fire truck will be here, and then they will have a booth outside for donations, and then we will have one inside for extra donations.
Well, the fundraiser will be from 5 until 8 o'clock tonight. Birmingham City Schools' newest superintendent is ready to work with teachers and principals as the district looks to transition under different leadership. Dr. Lisa Herring was introduced Wednesday after accepting the job. Outlining goals for next year, Herring says that she has a clear plan tied to student performance and accountability. Well, some in the community are still upset over the search process. In fact, one group even served board members with a lawsuit yesterday. Herring looks to build strong relationships with school board members.
The balance of the focus and the responsibility of the adults are really important. And as superintendent, I have to ensure that I'm working in a we model. I can't do it alone.
Well, Sherry Gardner, one of the board members who voted in opposition, explained her vote to CBS 42.
It was not a vote against Dr. Herring because I'm convinced that she will do an outstanding job for the city of Birmingham. It was a vote in protest of the process and the lack of transparency.
Gardner says despite some of her initial concerns about the search process, she fully supports Dr. Herring and is looking forward to next year. New at noon, there is new evidence that North Korea could be moving toward a nuclear test. This new development comes as North Korea accuses a detained American of working to overthrow the regime. Well, the monitoring group 38 North says satellite imagery reveals the pumping out of water at the North Portal. This is the tunnel that North Korea may have been preparing for a nuclear test. Well, the pictures are from late April, and they also show what appear to be a mining cars near the tunnel.
We know North Korea is going to do another nuclear test, just as we know that they're going to do an ICBM test eventually. We just don't know when.
Analysts say that the North Koreans will very likely use the 3 Americans they're detaining as bargaining chips for some kind of concession from the U.S. But they say if any of them becomes ill, they'll most likely be released. That's because the regime could face serious pushback if an American died in their custody. New at noon today, a man is in custody following a robbery attempt at a Hoover Walmart. Just before 10 o'clock on Tuesday, Hoover police responded to a report of a robbery at the Walmart on Highway 280. Well, a store employee says she was leaving work when a man came up to her in the parking lot. He asked her to give him a ride, and the suspect, George Harris Jr., you see here, ordered the woman into her car and then took her to an ATM. He took the employee back to the store and she called 911. Harris is now facing 4 charges. Developing right now, Birmingham police are investigating a shooting that happened on Pearson Avenue. Police say that a man in his 30s was shot at M&M Groceries. Paramedics took him to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. No word on any suspects at this time. Well, right now, Britain's Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth, is retiring from royal duties. This is a developing story we've been following all morning for you. The palace received the Queen's husband that he won't be accepting any more invitations beginning this fall. Well, palace officials say that the Duke of Edinburgh will continue his work with charities, but will no longer play an active role in attending events. Prince Philip attended 219 royal engagements last year, and he turns 96 next month. Well, the palace says that the Queen fully supports her husband's decision. Still to come this afternoon, a peaceful day in nature turns to terror for one family. Coming up next, how a man fell nearly 200 feet and how he's doing this afternoon. You're watching the CBS 42 News at noon. We'll have more right after this. Welcome back. New at noon today, it's been 3 months since 2 teenagers were killed in Indiana, and there's still no sign of a possible suspect. Abby Williams and Libby German were found dead near the historic Delphi Trails in Carroll County, Indiana. Well, Carroll County Sheriff Toby Lazenby says that investigators are getting new information and evidence to sort through. Indiana State Police Sergeant Kim Riley says investigators need more information from the community.
To come in and talk to us, just try to get more people to say, hey, you know, if mom and the families can come forward, we should maybe step forward and give us some information that we're desperately need to help solve this problem.
The sheriff says to remain hopeful and that this is not the time for the term cold case to be used. Also new at noon, a beautiful day hiking in the woods turns into horror for one Oregon family. A man in his 30s was hiking with family members along the Angels Rest Trail. About a mile up, he became lightheaded, so he sat down on a patch of land near a waterfall. Well, that land gave way and he fell almost 200 feet below. Well, family members called 911 and first responders rescued the man with a rope.
Our Green Hornets arrived on scene and were able to get to him fairly quickly from a lower trail. They were able to start first aid efforts and then eventually joined by Corbett Fire once they were able to get into the area. He was then transferred to AMR, who took him to Rooster Rock State Park, where he was life-flighted to a local hospital.
Authorities say the quick response was critical. It's unknown why the ground suddenly gave way and collapsed. Our thoughts with those folks, for sure, scary. Your time right now is 12:14, and Memphis is honoring a major musician, but it's not Elvis. Coming up, the big honors Justin Timberlake is now getting at the Memphis Music Hall of Fame.
You're watching the CBS 42 News at Noon.
Oh, I'm ready for that sunshine to return. The rain was great. We needed it. Unfortunately, a lot of damage with that, but it's time for some sunshine.
Yeah,
again.
had some wind with that this morning. Fortunately, the winds have subsided, just like you mentioned. Good news there. Clouds sticking around, but seeing some light rain. Look at this, actually on cue. There we go. This is our Storm Track Tower cam in Hamilton, where I was actually just tracking the rain beginning to move in. And moments ago, only saw a couple of little drops on the lens, but now you can actually see that rain falling in front of the lens. Temperatures across the board in the low to mid 60s and a few upper 60s. Anniston, really anyone east of 65 right now, you are seeing some slivers of sunshine, and that's going to heat things up. But notice wind speeds anywhere between about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Still a little bit breezy over in East Alabama. All right, here's that rain. I was just showing you the showers in Hamilton, now beginning to move closer into Double Springs from Berry all the way down towards Tuscaloosa, heading towards Lake Samantha here. But let me zoom out and show you what we're dealing with. A low pressure system just to our west is going to be tracking off to the north and to the east, and as it does, this cold front pushes through. All right, so this cold front is what's going to push some of this rain through Alabama this afternoon. Well, then what's next? Well, we'll have some wraparound moisture. See how this rain is wrapping around the backside of this low here, and that moisture is going to follow the direction of these arrows that you see on your map, and that will begin to push into Mississippi later tonight and then eventually moving into Alabama, and that will impact our Friday. We're already seeing that range of temperatures. It stayed cloudy and rainier for the most part in West Alabama. That's why temperatures have been hard pressed to climb today. They're holding in the low 60s. Now, a moment or two of sunshine and those temperatures can really heat up. Already at 70 in Gadsden, 69 at Talladega. But look at these winds still at Anniston, 15 miles per hour. Birmingham winds at about 12 miles per hour. But everywhere there's just a light wind, kind of the steady breeze. But let me break out how the rest of your day will unfold through your lunch hour right now. I say about 1 to 2 o'clock rain begins to move into central Alabama. Between 2 and 3, kind of moving through east, and then finally moving out of here by sometime about 8 o'clock. Then we'll see actually a bit of a break in the rain from about 8 p.m. to midnight, and then just after midnight, that wraparound moisture reaches us, and we could see some on and off showers early tomorrow morning, but I think the heaviest rainfall still stays north of I-20, and then things will start to quiet down as we move into the weekend. That's good news for race fans, although tomorrow morning may be a little damp and cool, 60 degrees for a high tomorrow. Sunshine and 70s return for race weekend. Those temperatures continue climbing back into the 80s by the middle of next week. And that is a look at your Storm Track 7-day forecast. Jamie.
Thanks, Ashley. If you love Star Wars, today is your day. After the break, the celebration's going on and what tomorrow has in store for superfans. You're watching the CBS 42 News at noon. May the 4th be with you.
You're watching the CBS 42 News at Noon.
Welcome back. In entertainment news, the Memphis Music Hall of Fame is honoring Justin Timberlake. The Hall of Fame and the Rock and Soul Museum began installing new memorabilia yesterday. The display includes specific items from Timberlake's 2020 Experience World Tour. It showcases Timberlake's tuxedos, a set list, and much more. Timberlake is a native of Memphis. He was inducted into the Memphis Music Hall of Fame back in 2015. If you love Star Wars, today is your day. It is May 4th, and the date comes from the original movie phrase uttered by Obi-Wan Kenobi, "May the Force be with you." This is not to be outdone, though, by the next day, known as Revenge of the 5th, based on Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the 6th. Before the curtain falls, you'll be able to see the final show of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. The company says it will stream the show live on Facebook and on the circus's website. The curtain will close for the circus on May 21st, and the final show will be in Uniondale, New York. Well, the news at noon does not stop here. We have another look at your weather right after the break.
You're watching the CBS 42 News at Noon.
We're going to continue to see waves of rain through the afternoon today and light showers tomorrow, but it will be clearing out. Temperatures turning noticeably cooler, though. Get ready. 40s tonight, 60 for your high tomorrow, then 70s and sunny for the weekend. So if we can make it through the next 48 hours, I promise there will be bright days ahead as we move into the weekend. Great news, too, for any of those race folks that have come to town for Talladega. Race forecast is going to be sunny and bright both Saturday and
We
Sunday.
can make it.
We can. Just need the rain boots, that's all.
Yes, and an overcoat if you go out at night.
Yeah, well,
that's
that is
for sure.
true. It will get cold tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley. Join us back here at 5 o'clock this evening. Go to WIAT.com for the latest. Have a great afternoon.